The championship rolls on today at Snetterton for round 8 of the 1987 British Touring Car Championship. The wide open spaces should be suited to the likes of the Commodore and the Sierra, but it's the Rovers locking out the first 4 positions for today's 18-lapper. Ford had a tough qualifying session, with Andy Rouse and Graham Good both suffering problems and starting way down the order, with Pete Hall the only Sierra in the top 10. Rob Kirby though was a surprise, putting his John West Alfa Romeo 75 into the top 6 and heading up Class B in Frank Sittner's absence. The small Class D entry will also have implications on the championship, with Chris Hodgetts only able to get 5 points from today's race, if he manages to win the class. So let's have a look at the starting order as they roll around on the warm-up lap. And on pole position, car number 3, Graham Scarborough in the Rover. He's got his first pole position of the year, joined on the front row by the Isdell Rover of Tim Harvey. Row 2, David Carvel in car number 5, and he's joined by Dennis Leach, the Alton Park winner from earlier in the season. Mike O'Brien is the first non-Rover, starting 5th in the Holden Commodore, so it's V8s 1 to 5, with Rob Kirby, the head Class B driver, in 6th place in the Alpha. Mike Newman is back in 7th in the 635, 8th is Pete Hall in the top Sierra, 9th, that's us, Ross Dugman, our number 12 BMW. We're joined on row 5 by Brian Chatfield in his Bastos liveried Rover. From 11, Carl Jones, heading up Mark Hales in an all-Ford Escort, row 6, with Graham Hathaway, the Class B series leader, back in 13th. He's joined by fellow Class B runner John Dooley in the Alfa Romeo 75 Turbo. Chris Hodgetts gets 1 point for pole in Class D, starting 15th. He's alongside Andy Rouse, who couldn't manage to do many laps in qualifying, winding up 16th. Colin Piercy and Roger Saunders have make an all-Class C, row number 9. Jeff Kimber-Smith out of position 19 in the Toyota. Patrick Watts having a run in the Escort. He's out of position 20, while Graham Good failed to set a qualifying time in his Ford Sierra. Snetterton in 1980s, the home of the Will Hire 24-hour. It's round 8 of the British Touring Car Championship. We're away. A lot of wheel spin. We've got Pete Hall to our left, Rob Kirby in the Alpha, who was way up in qualifying. He's on the inside as we go down to Riches for the first time. Slot in behind Graham Good. Kirby in the John West Alpha behind us. A slew of Rovers in front of us as we come down to Sear for the first time. Use all the runoff, and up we go up the Revett Straight for the first time. So we're now 7th, Rob Kirby in the John West Alpha behind us. He's got V6 power in that now after starting the season with the turbo. John Dooley's still got the turbo. Through the S's for the first time. A lot of cars out in the dirt. Through the bomb hole. Come up to Coram for the first time. Dooley, Kirby all over us. Come through and up to the left right at Russell to end the lap. We missed the apex. Kirby gets a run on us, but we're up to 7th, end of lap 1. Teammate Newman ahead of us and Mike O'Brien in the Commodore. We expect the Sierras to be coming through as the race goes on. Tip it into turn 1. Just mixed the apex at Riches. Down to Sear again. Rover battle going on. Oh, we got tail comes out. That'll give Kirby a chance to have a go at us. He's really benefiting from the running the V6 motor. Are we braver under brakes? We are. Through the S's. Clamber over the curb. Through the bomb hole. Up to Coram. Andy Rouse in the Sierra's getting amongst it. He's making his way up through the field. see him in our rearview mirror. To the ultra fast Russell chicane, the original one for the 80s. Back down the front straight again, end of lap 2. We'll try and cover off Kirby. Through Riches, bit of understeer. Just hold on. Down to Sear. It's important to get this corner right because it's a long run up the back straight. Oh, we got it a bit too right there. Out on the grass, Rouse is having a go at us. He's going to motor all the way past us in the ICS Sierra. So he's already up to 7th from 16th on the grid. Oh! Can we have a go? Over the... Oh! I messed that up a bit. Pete Hall's behind us as well. Through the bomb hole. Now to Coram. This is a real tyre killer here on the front left. Loaded through here. Rouse kicks up a bit of dirt. Across the line. Down to Riches. Tip it in. Hall comes away. He's going to get up the inside, is he? We'll give him a bit of room. Oh, out wide. Hall puts us in the dirt. Something's gone wrong up the straight because we've motored back past him, which shouldn't happen in the BMW. Just missed the apex, we'll float it through. Out on the dirt. Through the bomb hole again. Up to Coram. Hall's back over us again. So I don't know what happened on the straight there. Up ahead, looks like Rouse has gone to the pits in the Sierra. Yes, he has. So as the two Sierras go sideways through Russell behind us. So Andy Rouse, after a stunning start, is already... Oh, how did we hang on to that? Hall behind us, so one Sierra down. Back onto the Revit straight. Hall again. Comes past us. Not much we can do, unfortunately. Graham Good gets through too as we come up to the bridge, because the bridge is in the wrong spot. For 1987 Snetterton. Bridge was here back then, moved in 97. So this is sort of a hybrid track. The newer version, but we've had this bit fixed up on it. The 87, or sorry, the probably 88 or 89 version of that chicane. Oh, and there's a fire, and Pete Hall's out, so two ICS Sierras out in 2 laps. Championship changing implications, possibly, particularly in terms of Rouse. Graham Good, the previous round winner, up ahead of us. So he's in the points. We've got Kirby back behind us in the Alpha. As I was saying, we have to thank Gulag Express on the Overtake forum for making this version of Snetterton. As we go back through the gears. Oh, that's hurt us. Just Kirby up the inside. Try and brave it out around the outside, and we've somehow done it. Around to end the lap, so we're running 8th. Amazing speed from this John West Alpha. They haven't been anywhere near competitive all season. Kirby in real life did switch to the V6 engine, but then in the end had an accident and wrote the car off and missed the second half of the season. But in our version, he's made the change and he's running very well. Oh, we're so late on the brakes there. Just managed to save it. We missed the apex again, and just a lot of understeer. Around now to Russell. We're on our own again. Through the chicane. The race will be a bit closer than this, but it's ending up to be a bit chaotic. Come on, Good. Graham Good not making the headway I thought he would, given how fast he sort of got past us and given he started last on the grid. Carl Jones behind us in the Escort, and then Mark Hales. No Frank Sittner here today in the BMW, so that sort of giving Class B competitors a bit of a helping hand. A lot of understeer there, and Graham Good's in the pit, so all three Sierras out. What is going on? What a shame. Graham Good off a win, so we are now really all alone. We're 8 laps into the race, nearly halfway. Very short race as it is. Barely take 20 minutes to do 18 laps. Carl Jones and Mark Hales are behind us. Through the bomb hole. We're out of the points at the moment. The 4 Rovers, a Commodore and a 635 in front of us. It's a very 86 spec front of the field with the Rovers and the VK Commodore and the 635 BMWs. The Sierras and the M3. So dominant in the previous 2 rounds. So we go through 5th gear. We've made halfway. Bit of an awkward corner that one to get down through the gears, but we can do it. This race is really spread out. Much more than I thought it would. Across the line. Got enough to stay ahead of the Escorts. But just nothing for the cars in front. The only visit of the series to Snetterton this year. Because we visit other tracks multiple times. We've got 4 rounds to go after this, and 2 of those are at Donington Park. Also a return visit to Woolton Park. And our 4th visit for here to Silverstone. That'll close out the season. Through Russell. 7 to go. Wonderful circuit, Snetterton. Quite different these days. That's a hairpin now, and the track trails off to the infield, then rejoins somewhere along the Revett Straight, maybe around here. This is, of course, a different track to what it was originally, which ran down, sort of went left after Sear. I think Sear was a bit further on from Riches than it is on this version, and of course it ran down to the Norwich Straight. As we come around, Mark Hales making a bit of time on us. Sorry, Carl Jones. Mark Hales is behind. Across the line. Front of the field is quite stagnant. But it'd be interesting to see what the top 4 are, because I assume it's still the 4 Rovers. But it'd have to be, really. Carl Jones running 2nd in Class B. A class win here would be interesting. It'd get him a few points back on Graham Hathaway, who in Class B is at best 3rd, judging by this. Bottom right, across the chicane. 5 to go. Such a good corner, Riches. Right out to the curb. Back to Sear. Right over the inside curb, out wide. 11 seconds ahead to Mike Newman, car number 10. Through the S's now to the bomb hole. We will also be taking in further rounds of the European Touring Car Championship for 1987. Details for that I'll have soon. But round 2 of the series was at Estoril in Portugal, Estoril 500. Of course, we did round 1 at Donington in our British Touring Car BMW. There are plans for round 2 and beyond in the European series. You'll find out about that soon enough. So closing up on a lapped car. Out on the grass. See what car it is. Such a good left-right flick. Looks like Patrick Watts may be in the escort. And his first outing of the season in the North Essex Ford Escort that's been driven so far by Phil Dowsett. Will we get him? No, we won't. Wheels in the dirt, Watts. Ever a trier. Just bide our time. Gap we've got, very wide given the gap we've got ahead to Newman. There was no point being too rash. Carl Jones is behind us, as we said, first in class, still in Class B. It's going to be a big help to his challenge in that class. Over the curb. Tyres starting to go away. Come through. So, one lap to go. Interesting to see who wins. Class A, of course, being a very topsy-turvy season for everyone. Round 1, Rouse 1. Dennis Leach, round 2. We run round 3. Mike Newman, round 4. Then Rouse 5 and 6. Graham Good, round 7. So the outright win here won't have much to do in terms of influencing the overall championship, but it could certainly influence the Class A championship. So we come around, we're going to finish 7th, so that's no points. Quite a lonely race, but here's what it is. We're going to cross the line. P7 for round 8 here at Snetterton. So Dennis Leach leads home a Rover quartet to pick up his second win of the year ahead of pole sitter Graham Scarborough, with David Carvell rounding out the podium. Tim Harvey gets his fourth place in a row in the Estelle Rover, ahead of Mike Bryan in the first non-Rover out of 5th in the Commodore, while Mike Newman's the first non-V8, finishing 6th. We finished up in 7th in the BMW, just missing out on points both outright and in Class A. Carl Jones wins Class B with an 8th place, leading home a trio of escorts, Mark Hales and Graham Hathaway rounding out the top 10. Chris Hodgetts wins Class D in 11th, but as we said, due to only 3 entries, he only gets 5 points for the win, while Colin Pearcey similarly wins Class C, but only gets 5 points due to the small entry in the Metro. So how does that leave the championship table heading into round number 9 at Donington? Chris Hodgetts now has an 8-point lead over Graham Hathaway. They're really the only two in it with just 4 rounds to go. Andy Rouse still sitting in 3rd place on 40 points, just ahead of Carl Jones, while Roger Saunders and Jeff Kimber-Smith round out the top 5. We'll see how all the class points are looking as well at the 2/3 distance in the season. Andy Rouse has a 10-point lead in Class A over Dennis Leach. David Carvell up to 3rd ahead of Graham Good and Mike Newman. In Class B, Graham Hathaway has the lead over Carl Jones, back to Mark Hales, John Dooley and Frank Sittner in 5th, despite only doing 2 rounds so far. Roger Saunders leads Class C in 31 points, ahead of Colin Piercy and Alan Minshaw, while Class D, Chris Hodgetts with a huge lead, more than double the points of Jeff Kimber-Smith in 2nd, then back to Alex Moss, Tony Crudgington, with Minshaw and Nadell equal 5th. So we head away from our one and only visit to Snetterton this year. Next up in round 9, we head to Donington Park for the first time this year on the national circuit. Look forward to your company then. Thank you for watching today's race.